I exposed my neighbor's affair and blew up a marriage. And I don't regret it for a second. Before you judge me, you need to know that her secret life was so loud, it was systematically destroying mine. I'm not talking about a little noise. I'm talking about the kind of disruption that costs you your sleep, your sanity, and nearly your career. I tried being nice. I pleaded with her. Her response was to basically laugh in my face. She backed me into a corner and left me with a choice: my livelihood or her secret. I chose my livelihood. Here's exactly how it went down. Before all this, my life ran on a quiet, predictable rhythm, and honestly, that's how I liked it. I live alone in a simple one-bedroom apartment that I worked my butt off to afford. It's nothing fancy, but it was my sanctuary. My job as a data analyst is intense. It means long hours staring down complex numbers, hunting for that one tiny error in a mountain of data. To be good at my job, I need one thing more than anything: a solid 8 hours of sleep. For me, sleep isn't a luxury, it's a professional requirement. My evenings were for decompressing, for shutting off my brain, and just recharging. My apartment was my fortress of solitude. Then, Jenna moved in next door, right on the other side of my bedroom wall. At first, no red flags. She was a woman in her late 20s like me. We did the usual hallway dance, a quick "hey," a forced smile while searching for keys. She seemed totally normal. I figured we'd be the kind of neighbors who just peacefully coexist, and I was fine with that. For the first few weeks, everything was quiet. My routine was safe. My sleep was sound. I had no idea a storm was brewing on the other side of the drywall. The trouble started small. A low, rhythmic thumping. At first, I wrote it off. Old building sounds. Maybe she was moving furniture. But then it happened the next night, and the night after that. Always late, kicking off around 11 p.m., right when I was trying to fall asleep. Soon other sounds joined in: muffled laughter, high-pitched giggles, and the unmistakable sounds of, well, you get the picture. It fell into a pattern that was almost comical. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights, every single week. The visitor would show up, and for the next 2 to 3 hours, my bedroom wall became the headboard for their very loud, very inconsiderate affair. The sound wasn't just something I heard. I could feel the vibrations through my own headboard, a constant, dull thud that matched the frantic beat of my own pulse. I'd just lie there in the dark, staring at my ceiling, grinding my teeth. Every giggle felt like a slap in the face. Sleep became a war I could never win. I'd toss and turn, jamming my pillow over my head, trying to mute the sounds of their passion. Most nights, I'd finally crash from sheer exhaustion around 2 or 3 a.m., only for my 6 a.m. alarm to jolt me back to reality. The exhaustion was a heavy fog I couldn't shake. My focus at work, normally my superpower, was gone. I was making stupid mistakes, typos in reports, errors my boss had to flag. I was running on fumes and a dangerous amount of caffeine. My sanctuary had become a torture chamber, and the woman next door was holding the key. I genuinely hate confrontation. I always try to be reasonable first, so that's what I did. After a particularly loud Thursday night that left me basically useless on Friday, I knew I had to say something. My first move was the classic friendly but anonymous note. I must have rewritten it 5 times, trying to get the tone just right. I wasn't trying to start a fight. I just wanted to sleep. It said something like, "Hi neighbor, hope you're settling in. Just wanted to give you a heads up that the walls are super thin and sound travels a lot at night. Would you mind keeping it down after 11 p.m.? Thanks so much." I slipped it under her door, feeling pretty good about it. I was nice. I was polite. How could she not be cool about it? That Saturday, the noise started at 11:15 p.m., and I swear it was even louder. It felt like she was sending a message. The hope I had felt, instantly curdled into anger. My polite little note had been crumpled up and thrown back in my face. A week passed. 3 more nights of being woken up. The note obviously didn't work. It was time for a face-to-face conversation, a thought that made my stomach turn. But the idea of being tired forever was even worse. I caught her in the hallway that weekend, took a deep breath, and walked up to her. "Hi, Jenna," I started, my voice shaky. "I think I left a note the other day about the noise." She stopped and turned, not with an apology, but with a look of pure annoyance. She crossed her arms. "Oh, yeah, the note." "I just wanted to follow up," I said, fighting to keep my voice even. "It gets really loud a few nights a week, and it's making it almost impossible for me to sleep. I have to be up really early for my job." She just stared at me, a tiny condescending smile on her face. "Look," she said, her voice dripping with attitude, "I'm just living my life. It's my apartment. If you're such a light sleeper, maybe you should get earplugs." And with that, she turned and walked off, leaving me standing there, completely humiliated. It wasn't just a brush off, it was an insult. In her world, I was the problem. My need for sleep was an inconvenience to her fun. For 2 more weeks, I stewed. I actually bought the expensive earplugs she mentioned. They were useless against the vibrations shaking the wall. The exhaustion got worse. My boss gave me a formal warning for my lack of attention to detail. The stress was crushing me. I decided to try one last time. I cornered her as she was coming home from work. "Jenna," I said, my voice firm this time, "the earplugs didn't work. This is seriously affecting my job. I am asking you, as your neighbor, please, just be considerate." That's when the mask came off completely. Her eyes went ice cold. "I already told you, this is my apartment. I'll do what I want in it. What are you going to do? Complain to the landlord? They're not going to evict me for living my life. It's not your problem you can't handle a little noise. Get over it." And that was it. That was the moment I got it. She wasn't just inconsiderate. She was cruel. She liked having this power over me. She felt completely untouchable. She dared me to do something, assuming I had no moves to make. She assumed I'd just get over it. She was dead wrong. The final straw came about a week later. I had an enormous presentation scheduled for our firm's biggest client. My career was literally riding on this. I'd been working around the clock for days, preparing for every possible question. All I needed was one decent night's sleep. Of course, it was a Thursday, and that night, the noise was biblical. It's like they knew I needed to rest and decided to go for an Olympic record. It was louder and went on longer than ever before. I just lay there, shaking with rage and helpless despair. I think I slept for maybe 90 minutes. The next day on the presentation, I was a disaster. I fumbled my words, I blanked on a key number, and I couldn't answer a simple question from the client. I saw the look on my boss's face. Pure disappointment. All that hard work, completely torched by my neighbor's affair. Later, my boss pulled me aside and said, "I don't know what's going on, but you need to fix it." She wasn't just costing me sleep anymore. She was costing me my future. That night, the frustration I'd been feeling for months cooled into something else. Cold, methodical resolve. My emotional brain shut off, and the analytical part of me, the part that my job depended on, took the driver's seat. I stopped asking, "How do I make her stop?" and started asking, "What's the root cause of the noise? And what's the most efficient way to eliminate it?" The problem wasn't Jenna, not really. The problem was her guest. He was the variable causing the disruption. If he stopped coming over, the noise would stop. As I sat by my window, running through this new strategy, his familiar car pulled up. I'd seen it 100 times, but tonight I saw it as a clue. And that's when I noticed the detail that changed everything. In the glow of a streetlight, I could clearly see the outline of a child's car seat in the back. Not a booster seat, a full-on pink and purple toddler car seat. This guy was a husband, a father. This wasn't just some casual fling. This was a secret with high stakes. And a secret, I realized, was a vulnerability. For the first time, I saw a path forward. It wasn't about asking nicely anymore. It was about leverage. He had a weak spot, a life he was clearly hiding. For a split second, I hesitated. Was I about to cross a line? But then I thought about my humiliation at work, the weeks of exhaustion, and Jenna's smug face telling me to get over it. She and her lover felt untouchable. I decided right then and there to find out just how untouchable he really was. She started this war. I was going to find a way to end it. My path was clear. I was going to dig. But I have to ask you, what would you have done? When all the polite options are exhausted and it's affecting your livelihood, do you give up and move? Or do you decide to fight back, even if it means crossing a line? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. The operation began that night. The anger was gone, replaced by a chilling sense of focus. I felt like I was back at my desk, isolating a problem and searching for a solution. My investigation started with the one clue I had: his car. First, I needed his license plate. I grabbed my phone, went to the window, and zoomed in on his car. The plate was perfectly clear under the streetlight. I took a crisp photo. This was my key. Next, I had to put a name to the plate. The next day, during my lunch break, I went online. I found one of those gray area websites that connects license plates to public records for a fee. I paid the $20, and my hand trembled a little as I hit search. A few seconds later, the results popped up. A name, let's call him Mark, and an address in a suburb about 40 minutes away. The next part was sickeningly easy. I typed Mark, last name, and his town into Facebook. Bingo. Second result. His profile picture was exactly what I expected. A glossy, professional photo of him, a smiling woman who had to be his wife, and two small children, a little boy, and a girl about the right age for that pink car seat. The guy's profile was a monument to his perfect family. I clicked on his wife's profile, Sarah. Hers was public, and it was an avalanche of domestic bliss. Photos from a beach vacation, a gushing anniversary post about being married to my best friend and the most amazing father, birthday parties, first day of school pictures, family holidays. Every photo was a gut punch. This woman was living a lie, and my neighbor was helping write the script. As I scrolled through her life, the final piece of the puzzle clicked into place. The leverage I was looking for wasn't just that he had a family. The leverage was her. She deserved to know, and she was my way to end this. The final step had to be clean and untraceable. I created a burner Instagram account. No name, no photo, a total ghost. From that account, I went to Sarah's page. My heart was pounding, but my hands were steady. I started typing the message. I decided to be cold and clinical. The facts were all the ammo I needed. I reread it a dozen times. The final message was short, sharp, and undeniable. It read, "Hello, Sarah. I'm writing to you for a difficult reason. I am the next-door neighbor of a woman named Jenna who lives at my apartment building address. For the past 3 months, your husband, Mark, has been visiting her apartment every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night, usually between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. His car, a silver Honda Accord with the license plate blank, is parked on the street outside. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but his affair has been incredibly loud and has consistently ruined my sleep. I tried asking my neighbor to be quiet, but she refused. I believe you have a right to know what your husband is doing. Then, I attached the kill shot, the crystal clear photo of his car, license plate and all, parked right in front of my building. No ambiguity, no wiggle room. Checkmate. I took one final deep breath. This was it. The point of no return. I thought about my sleepless nights, the humiliation at work, and Jenna's smug, dismissive face. I hit send. After I sent the message, a strange calm washed over me. It was done. All I could do was wait and listen. The next Tuesday came and went. I turned off my lights at 10:45 p.m. and just lay there, listening. 11 o'clock passed, 11:30, nothing. The only sound was the hum of my fridge. Midnight came and went. Then 1 a.m. There was just pure, uninterrupted, glorious silence. I actually smiled in the dark. For the first time in months, I fell asleep without a fight and slept like the bed. I felt like a new person on Wednesday. I was sharp, productive, and focused at work. It's amazing what one night of actual rest can do. Thursday night was the real test. Thursday was their night. Again, I waited, I listened, and again, nothing. No car door slam, no footsteps, no thumping. Just beautiful, blissful silence. I knew right then my plan had worked. About a week later, I ran into Jenna in the hallway. The change was stunning. The smug, confident woman was gone. She looked pale and hollowed out. Her eyes were red and puffy, and she was wearing a stained sweatshirt I'd seen her in 2 days before. She saw me and her eyes flashed with pure hatred. She knew. She didn't know how, and she could never prove it, but she knew it was me. The look she gave me could have soured milk, but she didn't say a word. What could she say? Did you tell my affair partner, his wife, about us? The power had completely flipped. All I had to do was stay quiet. I just gave her a small, neutral nod and kept walking. My peace was finally restored. The night stayed quiet. My sleep came back. My boss even praised my impressive turnaround at work. My life returned to its quiet rhythm. My apartment was my sanctuary again. About 2 months later, I saw a moving truck outside her apartment. A few weeks after that, a quiet, elderly man moved in. The problem was officially gone. Looking back, I don't feel a single shred of guilt. I didn't set out to destroy a marriage. My goal was simple. I wanted to sleep in my own apartment. I gave my neighbor every chance to be a decent person. I asked politely. I explained the situation. I pleaded. She chose to be dismissive and cruel. She made a bet that I was powerless, and she lost. Her affair, her deception, those are the things that blew up her life and his family. I was just the messenger. She created the storm. I just gave the weather report. I took back my peace, my sanity, and my career. And in the end, that's all I ever really wanted. But I have to ask you, was I wrong? Did I go too far? Or was my revenge completely justified? Let me know what you would have done in the comments below. I read them all. And if you have a crazy neighbor story, I definitely want to hear it. Thanks for listening.